What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise here on Madden 22 on Next Gen. In today's video, we're going to have a playoff matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I meant to bring you this game against the Buffalo Bills. It was going to be a snow game. It was probably going to be a fun game. My bad. I literally skipped past it by accident. I hit the advance button and I was thinking I was doing something else. So that game simmed. Luckily, we won that wild card game, which sends us to a divisional round matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals, who won our division and got the #1 seed in the AFC. Now, interesting fact that I want to point out here before we dive into the gameplay in today's video, every single AFC North team made the playoffs this year. The Browns snuck in as the 7th seed. We snuck in as the 6th seed. The Ravens got in as the 5 seed, and the Bengals, as we said, got the #1 seed. So the AFC North is dominating the AFC in this franchise, and you guys can see the standings down there in the bottom right-hand corners. The Bengals sitting at 14-3, and that's kind of what we expect to happen in real life with how high potential that team is. They're probably going to take over the AFC North and be one of the top contenders in the AFC for a long time. Baltimore sitting at 11-6, which I would say would be pretty realistic considering how this division is looking. The Steelers at 10-7 and the Browns at 10-7. Now, 10-7 might be a little bit too high in the winning column for both the Steelers and the Browns following what's about to happen to both of their teams, but I do really find it interesting how things have played out with this division so far in this franchise, and we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to jump into a matchup here against the Cincinnati Bengals, and this is going to give us an opportunity at some revenge against the team that shut us out 35-0, I think it was, when I hopped back into this franchise the latest time. So I wouldn't mind getting some sweet revenge against the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't guarantee you that that's going to happen, but I'm certainly going to hop into this game and give it a good old try. All right, so here we go. We're getting Joe Burrow once again. We had trouble stopping him the first time around. We had trouble getting anything going against their revamped defense. Honestly, I'm a little bit afraid of what this game could potentially hold for us. However, we're going to try to keep things in control. We have the new playbook. We have things set up the way that we want them to be. So we're going to go ahead, jump into this gameplay, and see what Cincinnati can do here on the opening drive of the game. I think to start off, we're going to play things a little bit conservative. We're going to come out in a little bit more of a pass-heavy defense to hopefully keep things controlled underneath. Joe Burrow completes his first pass, and that's part of the reason why they're so good. They have Chris Godwin out there at wide receiver, so I don't know where Jamar Chase is. It doesn't show him on the field right now. Maybe he hasn't quite developed, or maybe he is injured, one or the other, but it has Tyler Boyd out there on the outside with Godwin, which is honestly probably just about as good of a combination. I know Jamar Chase has the potential to be even better than that, but there we go. This is what we're going to have to contend with today, is a lot of completed passes by this defense. I'm going to have to probably drop back here and try to user and see if I can't help us out a little bit in the user game. Now, I noticed that Troy Apke is over there at the sub linebacker spot. I'm going to have to just make sure real quick that he's not in at sub linebacker, because honestly, he's probably not going to be a bad sub linebacker, but we need to have the best players on here that we can, and Edmonds and Bush are set there, so that must have just been a heavy nickel formation or something. So they're already across the 50-yard line now. Joe Burrow having no problems moving his team downfield. Joe Mixon gets a decent little run, sets them up for a 3rd and short situation down to the 42-yard line. And let me, while I have the opportunity, go ahead and move my camera over to the top left, I think is what we were doing. Yeah, we're going top left because that doesn't cover any important information for Madden videos. I'm getting used to the face cam, guys. There's a couple of things that I have to adjust to. Some videos are top left, some videos top right, and Edmonds almost jumps that for an interception, a good batted ball. However, Cincinnati Bengals going for two. No, they're not going for it. I thought they were going for it on 4th and 1 because it was having us call defense. No, McPherson is setting up for a very long field goal and just barely misses that one. It just goes wide to the left. So Honestly, I feel like if we want things to go our way in this game, we're going to need a little bit of luck, and that is a good way to start off absolutely in this game. We don't have our tight end releasing, and we're going to have to throw that one basically away, but it does get batted down at the line. A little bit of a wonky animation there. Let's go ahead and take this one to the ground. Hopefully we can get a good block here on the outside by Ingold. We do get a nice block to help seal the edge, and Najee Harris with a fantastic carry for his first carry of the game. 14 yards up to the 37-yard line, and no reason we shouldn't run the ball in today's matchup. I do feel like we can get something going with the line that we have right now. They've developed nicely as a unit. It's taken some draft picks and some development and some focus to get this line to where it needs to be, but this is the type of focus that I'm expecting to see out of the Pittsburgh Steelers over the next couple of years, is really revamping that offensive line. Another solid run for Najee Harris to get us up close to a third and manageable situation, 3rd and 6. So we are going to have to drop back and pass this ball, but I don't want too much weight to be on Kenny Pickett's shoulders today. Dumps it off underneath to his reliable target, Pat Freiermuth, and gets us up to the 13-yard line. Nice catch and run. Looks like the coverage just kind of lost Freiermuth right there, and let's go ahead, try to take this back into Najee Harris's hands. Get your X factor the ball. That's the game strategy today. That's the game plan today. 4 rushes, 20 yards, down to the 11-yard line. Now it gets interesting in terms of play calling because the field is shortened, so you don't have as much room to be able to try to pass the ball. Najee Harris able to tool his block a little bit to get 2 yards. Not a lot of running room, though, so we're going to go spread offense. I don't know that this is going to work. What I might try to do, I might try to use Pickett's Pickett's legs, I should say, to open up some passing lanes, and I probably had a receiver open. Got distracted, unfortunately, gonna go down for the sack, but Pittsburgh going to go up 3-0 with 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. And what did I say, guys? It's going to be a Najee Harris show today. So from around the 24-yard line, we're just going to go with an inside zone handoff to Najee Harris, and we're going to get great blocks upfield by all of our wide receivers. I'm actually really impressed by the blocking effort from everybody on that left side. That's Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and Juju Smith-Schuster. And Najee Harris going to have no trouble finding that lane to get upfield for the touchdown, fights his way into the end zone here, and puts the Pittsburgh Steelers up 10-0 as we close out the first quarter. There was not a lot of time between those two drives. That's a good start for us. The Bengals not really playing up to the same standard that we saw the last time we met against this team. We're marching down here down to the 24-yard line. Offense has been clicking so far today, so I really like to see what our offense has been able to do. Unfortunately, a little bit of a pressured throw and an overthrow there by Kenny Pickett. Let's go ahead and try to at least get 3 points on the board here. Obviously aiming for 7, but if we can get another score on the board, I think that's a win for us. Beautiful run by Najee Harris, taking us down to the 11-yard line, setting us up in really good position to score here. Now, we can get the first down without getting a touchdown. That's how it works out sometimes. We are on the 11-yard line and have a 1st and 10 situation. Najee Harris gets a 7 or 8 yard run on that one, though. Najee up to 10 rushes, 72 yards today. And the last time we tried to spread it out whenever we got down here in the red zone. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to run it every single time. It's only going to take once. Najee Harris puts it in again. That's going to be his 2nd touchdown of the day, putting us up 17-7. But I was going to say, I don't care how many times it takes. If it takes 4 tries, we're going to run it 4 times in a row and get this touchdown. Really, really nice effort there by the O-line blocking and Najee Harris to get that one into the end zone and get us this 10-point lead. As we approach the 2-minute warning here, you guys can see on the scoreboard 17-7 still, but 1:57 remaining in the half. Technically the 2-minute warning, and the Bengals are moving up now to the 50-yard line. So Cincinnati trying to get back into this game, not really get back into this game, but trying to cut that deficit so that it's only a 3-point lead at halftime. We'll see if they can do it. they are, working the underneath routes, working the middle part of the field, and having some success doing it so far on this drive. Now down to a minute, they're going to take their first timeout opportunity. They have plenty of time on the clock. And only 41 yards to go. You got to be thinking that they're going to be looking for those tall wide receivers on the outside. It looks like T. Higgins is a little bit tired right there. And I'm thinking that Jamar Chase must be injured. That's got to be the reason, unless that team made a trade on their own for Chris Godwin. But I think Godwin was a free agent in this franchise, and that's why he ended up on that team. I'm not exactly sure how that played out, but very interesting. Cincinnati now onto the 33-yard line, having a lot of success again, working over the middle, and that's going to be a forced fumble by Devin Bush, picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's moving, breaking tackles, and gets the return up to the 33-yard line. I don't think that one's going to be reviewed. That seemed like a pretty clear forced fumble to me. Let's go ahead and get one more very quick look at this one. You guys can see the coverage drop back here. Joe Burrow is working the middle of the field, but that's going to be a missed tackle by Edmonds and then a forced fumble by Devin Bush. So you can see the middle linebacker duo there kind of working for us. And the ball almost just falls right into the lap of Minkah Fitzpatrick, who picks that one up, get a little bit of an odd animation and a little bit of a 10 to 15-yard return. And we're now set up in pretty good territory. We're going to be a little bit conservative with it here, though. We're gonna nurse this lead and make sure that we don't do anything crazy here before half. Maybe try to at least go down and put another field goal on the board. So 40 seconds remaining right there. Not a whole lot of room to go on the run. We might have an opportunity to pass this one towards the sideline. It would be nice to get a solid pass there. There we go. Really nice catch. Kenny Pickett throwing it to where only Deontay Johnson could get that ball. And Deontay Johnson does go ahead and get us up to around the 45-yard line. Now very close to field goal territory. Again, I'm not trying to go crazy here. We do have all these timeouts, but I'm trying to just get a field goal lead and maybe take the opportunity for a touchdown. I'm going to go ahead and continue to run it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I see no need at this point with how in control we've been. I see no need to put this ball in the air and risk turning it over. Let's just take some points. If we can get a touchdown on the ground, we can get a touchdown on the ground. That's fine. 8 seconds left. One timeout remaining, so I'm probably going to run this ball one more time. Old school me and traditional me, whenever I'm playing these games, I'm probably trying to take a shot to the end zone. But playoff me, trying to make sure that we get the points on the board. We're going to let that go to 1 second, take the timeout. Let's go ahead and take that field goal, and we will take the 20-7 lead heading into the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, we are met once again on the goal line now, defensively, and the Cincinnati Bengals have an opportunity to try to punch this one into the end zone. On their first attempt, handing off to Joe Mixon, they're not going to get there. We are going to get the stop, which is going to bring up a second and goal situation. You got to be thinking they're maybe looking to go to Godwin, or one of their receivers on the outside came very close to reaching across the goal line, and that's going to be Tuitt this time coming across for the stop. We're going to have to shift our defense to inside on our D-line, but they are spreading it out a little bit more. Can Joey B find somebody in the end zone for the score? No, it's going to be TJ Watt who comes in for the sack, his second huge sack of the game to take down Joe Burrow. Now what do? They're going to go for it here from the 11-yard line, 4th and goal situation, and we're going to have to go cover 2-man, I think, in order to try to defend what they're sending at us. Are they going to find a man open in the end zone? And he's going to come down with the catch. 2 guys there, and Godwin manages to get the combat Moss-type catch. And you gotta wonder, was there any issue out here on the outside of him going out of bounds? It doesn't look like it was, because no flag thrown and no penalty either. On the outside, that's going to be Dante Jackson and Troy Apke, it looks like, defending this ball. Both of them go up to try to high point it, but Godwin is just going to get there before both of those guys do. He has slightly better positioning, does a really nice job on that, and comes down with both feet in the end zone for the touchdown. And that's going to present some intrigue, some drama as we head to the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. We're going to get an opportunity with the ball to try to put this game away, but no guarantee that Cincinnati's not going to get this ball back and have an opportunity to tie. So the question is, can we run this clock out? Can we get Cincinnati to use their timeouts? I don't even know if they will at this point, because there is 3:13 remaining, and if Najee's going to play like this, they certainly aren't going to be able to stop us. Najee Harris has been elite in today's game. He's got to be close to 200 yards on the ground, and we have no signs of slowing down our ground game. Let's just keep pounding it up the middle. Najee Harris this time trucks another tackle and gets up to the 45-yard line. 163 yards for Najee Harris in the game today as we head towards the 2-minute warning. We're going to go ahead and just let it run down to the 2-minute warning and go ahead and attempt to get this first down as soon as this 2-minute warning timeout is over. We're going to come back onto the field with Najee Harris once again and try to power this up over the middle. Now, I don't mind going into a shotgun formation like this because it gets their defense spread out a little bit. Najee Harris going to take the handoff and absolutely gets that first down, and he stays on his feet. They cannot bring him down right now. Harris having himself a monster of a day. He is now up to, I believe, a 92 overall X factor, an absolute monster. Cincinnati has no option but to stop us right now. They need to be selling out for the run, and Harris almost does enough on that run alone to take us for another first down and put this game away. Cincinnati going to call their next timeout. Sets up a 2nd and 1 situation. You got to wonder why they're going with this defense. You almost got to think, why aren't they going with a goal line formation? And that should do it, folks. That is going to set us up in field goal range if we needed to take a field goal, but nonetheless, also the opportunity to just run clock now. Minute 46 remaining, no timeouts remaining for Cincinnati. That's going to take us to the end of this one as long as there's not a turnover. Like I say, I don't like to kneel the ball, but we may just do that anyway. It is a playoff game. Now it's not even suggesting to kneel the ball. We're going to go ahead and run this clock down, and we're going to sneak out of here with a 28-21 victory. That was not without a good fight by the Bengals. However, they started off a little bit shaky in this one, and that could be the lack of playoff experience. We'll have to see who our next opponent is in the AFC, but an excellent win here by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there you have it. Not a lot of stats from today's game in the passing game. Kenny Pickett was not asked to do a lot, and that's what I expect a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback to do, taking over for Ben Roethlisberger. Manage the game, hand the ball off to Najee Harris a lot, and don't have to do a whole lot. 1 touchdown, 104 yards. Rushing-wise, Harris got over 210 and 2 rushing touchdowns. Excellent performance for him. And a couple things to do before we finish out today's episode. Number 1, our next opponent is the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game to determine who's going to go to the Super Bowl and face the winner of the Carolina Panthers, who were the 1 seed, surprisingly enough. Their rebuild is happening pretty quick, and the Cowboys. So it'll be interesting to see which of those 2 teams advance, but we have the Baltimore Ravens ahead of us. And what I also wanted to do real quick is go ahead and take a look at our stats for the season, because we never really did get an opportunity to see what the season stats were for these players. So Kenny Pickett, after coming in for the injured Ben Roethlisberger, after coming back from injury, and taking back over the reins from Ben Roethlisberger, finished the season with 2,400 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. That looks like a pretty standard rookie season, all things considered. Najee Harris had 1,957 rushing yards and 16 touchdowns, an absolute monster season for him. Receiving-wise, we had 1,000 yards from Deontay Johnson, 942 from Juju Smith-Schuster, 718 from Pat Freiermuth, and 526 from Chase Claypool, with 5 and 7 touchdowns mixed in for those guys. And on the defensive side of the ball, I do think it is worth noting that Devin Bush had 127 tackles for us, Tremaine Edmonds had 117, and then sacks-wise, TJ Watt managed 11 this year, and Alex Highsmith managed 9. On the inside, we also had big contributions from Stephon Tuitt, who had 8, and Cam Hayward, who had 6. So really solid contributions there. And in the secondary, we had 3 interceptions by Dante Jackson, 3 by Josh Jobe, 2 by Devin Bush, 1 by Watt, and 1 by Edmonds. So notably, Kerry Vincent Jr., not very noticeable in the secondary in terms of making big-time plays like he had in recent years. So that's what I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I enjoyed getting to the playoffs and getting a rematch against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now 10-7 versus 11-6 here in the AFC Championship should be interesting to see what Baltimore can do. Baltimore, not really a team that plays well when we play them head-to-head. So, could be an interesting matchup. I may decide to try to simulate this or live sim this or something like that to make it a little bit more interesting, because Lamar might play better if we do CPU versus CPU sim or something of that nature. So that's where we stand. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, I hope you have a good one.